Hey, what's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason Uthenwoldt coming at you live from two different states.
Two
And
different
this is a
states,
fantasy
one
football show.
one channel, one country,
One time zone.
one time zone, one shot, one opportunity.
Anyways, today's episode is the Week 5 weekend wrap-up show. We're just going to go over 5 of the most fantasy relevant games from. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Simpsons. I really have been. But anyways, we're going to go over some of the most fantasy relevant games from yesterday, 5 of them. And anyways, Jason, how was fantasy to you yesterday?
It was not good. But before we get on to that, I just want people to know that if you're watching this, please give us a thumbs up and say, you know what? These guys are cool. I like these guys. They're cool. I want to keep seeing them. I like the information Tyler gives. I like how stupid Jason looks. I like it all. And if you don't like us, I want to know that too. Tyler wants to know that too.
There's a thumbs down button.
Hit it. And hit it good.
Okay, hit whatever you want to hit. Just make an impression.
Whatever works. Just do it. And if you can subscribe, that'd be great. All right. So,
Thanks,
Tyler asked me about the Saints and Seattle game, right? Is that what you
said? No, we can go there though first.
Let's go there because I did my fantasy relevance was pretty crappy. This is PG. Oh man. So if we're gonna get in that, let's get down a little bit later where you'll really see my frustration. I remember we were talking about this game and it was like, oh crap, this is the game I gotta watch. It's gonna sound pretty boring. And I was like, it does sound pretty boring. But then I saw at the end of the game, I was like, what the hell? It's 38-33. What's going on in this game? And you know what happened?
It was 32-39.
32-39. You know what happened?
What?
Taysom Hill went off. Hill went off.
Right when I said to pause him too, I was like, "Don't start Taysom Hill. You don't want to start Taysom Hill."
Oh, yeah. Who would have thought he was going to have the game of a lifetime?
Yeah.
He 9 rushes for 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 1 passing touchdown also, and just to tip it off, he got your defense some points too. He had a fumble recovery on special teams. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Who would have thought that? No, I wouldn't. I didn't think that.
I'm laughing. Sorry, I'm laughing so hard at you. I've been letting you go. I've been letting you go for 2 minutes.
I know.
And I'm just laughing.
Well, in that game, there wasn't really a lot of passing going on. I think Dalton only had something like 170, 180 yards. They did run the ball a lot. What?
Just think, it's a code for murder.
Oh, 187.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Mofo Seahawk.
There you go.
Yeah,
he only had 187 yards.
It looked like it was pretty much of a rushing game. I mean, Alvin Kamara had 23 rushes. He hit the century mark. He had a couple of catches too, 6 catches, 91 yards, on 6 targets. And I believe he had a fumble too. But I think the good thing to look at is Chris, your homie Chris. Did you play him?
So I didn't want to start Olave. I made the mistake of starting Pittman Jr. and Sutton over him. But I was going to start Olave over Michael Pittman Jr. if Winston started, but Winston wasn't starting. And then I was watching this game. First target was, game script was all Olave in the beginning. And then he went out, with his hams or concussion. And I think this is going to be a theme for my team and the league. You're going to see this. People are going to get pulled out for concussions a lot more. A lot more frequently now. And so they're going to affect, dude. I mean, 2 of my players played, half a game or less because of concussions. So whereas they might have stayed in a couple weeks ago, they're going to be it's going to be like I was trying to think of it like last. Oh, it's like, man, it's going to be almost like this year's COVID. It's going to be like you're going to start people, and it's going to be like almost last minute, or not even last minute. It's going to be during the game. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to be the hot topic for this year is concussions and not COVID. So
Yeah, I dealt with some of that in the games I watched too. Um,
yeah,
I think
but
he had the most receptions on the team, I believe, with 6
yeah, no, he
targets.
had 6 targets. But I mean, dude, I mean, it was all early, man. And then
Well, did he get his first touchdown?
yeah, and yeah, he did. And it was, and everything's been short ever since Winston was has been out. Everything's just kind of like,
Oh,
just
you
your
could tell.
typical, just your
Yeah.
typical NFL, whatever. It's like what you saw with the Cowboys when Andy Dalton was there.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah. But Troutman was the guy keeping an eye on for a while. I think he was their tight end, and this is 2 weeks in a row where he's done okay. But he only had 3 targets. But dude, as long as Andy Dalton is starting, the only person you want to start is Olave, because, or maybe Michael Thomas when he comes back, dude. But he's passing for under 200 yards, and he didn't pass for much last week either. So
Yeah.
and he's dumping a lot off to Kamara, So Kamara got that, like you said, 6 targets. So at least Kamara was watching the game. He looked good. Alex Woods, the huge, like 6'3", 400-pound dude for the Seahawks, was just killing him. So, and then Ingram kind of looks washed when you watch him.
He does. He didn't look that great.
Yeah, dude. And then
he's up there in age.
Yeah, and then what I was thinking, dude, I was writing down these stats, and I'm like, dude, why haven't I picked up Geno Smith yet? Like, I'm in quarterback hell, dude. Like, literally quarterback hell. And Geno Smith, and I was watching him, the way he stepped up for that Lockett touchdown. Geno Smith looks good. I don't know what's happening, but he does look good.
Could be his system. Could be he has pretty good wide receivers to throw the ball to.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like that Lockett touchdown, I was like, that he looked like a good quarterback.
Yeah. But he had 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He got sacked 3 times, and he had 3 rushes for 13 yards. I mean, he's still rushing.
I tell you what, he's definitely looking a lot better than Russell Wilson.
It's so funny, man, because like I'm just thinking about Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance. It was like Tua Tagovailoa. Now it's like Trevor Lawrence, even Herbert for a little bit. It's just, dude, so many quarterbacks. Like it's bad this year, dude.
Yeah.
I'm losing. I mean, every game I lose is because I'm getting under 10 points from my quarterback and an injured player. So it's just crazy. So Geno Smith is a good option, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, for sure. He definitely is. I mean, we're week 5 and he's producing. And I think we're seeing a trend here. I think before I go in these other stats, that if you got anybody going up against Seattle, the Saints, you're going to play them. This is 2 weeks in a row that Seattle's given up more than 30 points in a game. And because of that, Geno's trying to keep them in. Geno Smith is having to throw the ball. And he's doing it well. He's throwing it well.
Well, they've had a rushing game too. I mean, last week there was like 300 yards or something like that total, and then going to this waiver wire pickup of the week, Kenneth Walker, 8 for 88 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Penny, fractured his tibia and is out for the year.
Out for the year.
It was funny watching Penny play, because Penny looks like he's afraid to take contact. Like 75% of the time, he's like running, like, "Oh, get away from me!"
Like Penny from The Big Bang Theory.
Dude, and then sometimes he just runs straight in fools. That's when he does well. So it's like, I don't know what his deal was, but now there's no mystery to figure out now because he's gone. Sucks, for him.
This is what I was saying in our early videos, that someone that you wanted to handcuff was Kenneth Walker, because Penny was likely going to get hurt. I didn't think it was going to be season-ending injury, but it happened. And then look what Kenneth Walker did when he had the opportunities. But he had like a 69-yard touchdown when it was his
he looks
turn to play.
fast. He just looks like he looks like he gives 100%, man. Like, he does not want to go down. Like, he's just
got a motor. Yeah.
They have to like put him on the ground. I mean, everybody does, but still. So that's going to be the pickup of the week. Spend all your fab money on Kenneth Walker. I'm going to be coming out with the show tomorrow morning with that. And then Tyler Lockett. This is, oh yeah, dude. Tyler Lockett. I've got something about Tyler Lockett. So in PPR, last 4 weeks, like 19 points, 16.5 points, 13 points. This week, 27 points. He's seen at least 25% of Seattle targets in those games. So Tyler Lockett was a bust. Now it looks like Tyler Lockett is almost back to where he once was with Russell Wilson. So it's kind of crazy.
Wilson.
Yeah. So it looks like Lockett's going to be the big play dude, and then Metcalf is going to be the everything in between guy when you're watching that. So if you drafted these two, good for you, because I didn't think any of this was going to happen.
Nor did I.
I mean, Geno Smith was supposed to be busting jaws in New York. Now he's out here in the West, the Pacific Northwest.
Making it rain.
Making it rain, dude. No kidding. It's crazy. And then, Fant, I was watching that because I was all about Will Dissly. And then Fant, he's been involved a little bit, and he is taking away from Dissly. So this was the first time where Dissly didn't really do anything. And it looks like 2 tight ends might be fighting for targets in Seattle. So as much as I like Will Dissly, I might go elsewhere.
Noah had 49 yards on 3 receptions.
Yeah, and when I saw him, I was like, "Who is that?" And then he stood up, and it was Fant, and I was like, "Oh, I thought he was injured, or I didn't understand what was happening, but he's there."
Yep.
So that's all I have for that game, Jason.
I think players against these 2 defenses.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, we want to keep an eye on Lattimore, Marcus Lattimore for the Saints, their top cornerback. He went out with an injury. So we'll see.
I was watching that game, and he was playing. He was getting in a fight with almost somebody. I forget who it was, but he's playing him well. And then I did not realize he went after an injury.
He's pretty good.
Metcalf.
Yeah,
Metcalf. Him and Metcalf get into it a lot.
He's one of the best cornerbacks, and we'll see if he's going to miss any time with his injury.
Yeah. Good point.
Let's go. Speaking of injuries, oh my God. The poor Lions.
Oh,
I watched the Lions-Patriots game. I wanted to see how the Lions were because they've been putting up big numbers offensively. Sorry, I was just being a pause because I'm like, do you hear me say it right? I think I said it right.
Hey, they are authentic. The numbers are authentic. This game, I think it was in New England, right?
Yeah. And the one thing about it, okay, so Jacob Myers had a good game, right? He had Jacoby Myers had one of his best games. Tyler, you called it. All he does is these crossing routes, cross, bam, bam, bam. The one thing that really concerned me about the passing game for the Patriots right now is that during that game, the Lions lost 5 defensive players, mainly safety and cornerbacks. They were getting out, leg, concussion. Some dude was taken out in an ambulance. So I saw the play. I don't know how he got hurt, but yeah. And what was that?
I taking out an ambulance, and I laughed. I was like, I shouldn't laugh.
No, you can laugh. That's what this show is all about. This is a fun show. We're here to spit wisdom and drink comedy. But so I'm just saying, like, it took 5 defenders to get injured before they actually had a big play downfield where Myers was able to catch a touchdown. And I think it was probably a 20 or 30-yard catch. But that was a little bit concerning to me because I was watching the game. I'm like, maybe it was the Bill Belichick way. You got a 3rd string quarterback, Zappy. Don't worry. Be Zappy.
I always like this. Zap, 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 zap,
yeah.
zap.
It was mainly.
Don't worry, be Zappy. That's good.
It was mainly just running the ball and short passes. There was times he looked downfield. I think he threw 2 or 3 deep balls to Devontae Parker, which I think every one of those ended up a PI on the Lions. But it could have been just gameplay. But it was just kind of why are they not taking advantage and throwing it deep a little bit more when they have all these 5th stringers coming in to play for the Lions? I don't know. It was kind of weird.
This just seems like the typical Bill. I mean, not Bills. Bill Belichick. The Lions going into Foxborough. They already have injuries. Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't 100%. I'm sure they just want to take. I'm sure they double covered Amon-Ra and then stop the run, and it's like, and they just didn't want to make any mistakes, because they had a rookie wide receiver or rookie quarterback. I think this is going to be and this is his best game. This is probably, once Mac Jones comes back, you can expect this from Jacoby Myers. But yeah, dude. I mean, the Lions' defense is terrible, and that's all that Zappy could still only put up 188 points or 188 yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the big thing though is that hamstring injury for Harris and that Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, given it is the Lions defense, it probably is that, but you could probably expect 100 yards and maybe a touchdown from him. He's probably gonna be a high-end wide receiver or a high-end RB2 going forward without Harris.
Yeah.
Maybe even a low-end number one with the landscape of running backs right now. Sorry.
No, you're fine. The old Bill Belichick way, right? You can't figure out which running back to play. And I remember watching the beginning of that game, and I was like, Harris and Stevenson are just like a split, and they're almost like,
and they look the same, dude.
They look the same.
Yeah.
They look the same. And then Harris, before he went out, he had 4 rushes for 11 yards and 1 reception for 1 yard. Then he went out, and Stevenson put up a career high with 161 total rushing yards on 25 carries. He also had 2 catches for 14 yards on 2 targets, and his longest run was 49 yards. The dude looked slower than hell, but
yeah.
I feel like if one of them's going out, like you're saying, Tyler, if one of them goes out, you play the other one.
Because really, you want to start Harris. Like, Harris is a low-end RB2, even with Ramondre in. But if one of them's out, I think either way, they're probably still high-end RB2s. But I like Ramondre. I think Ramondre Stevenson has a higher ceiling. So anyways, I don't think he's available anywhere, but Ramondre Stevenson, you could probably put him in your lineup for the next couple of weeks. And then I thought the big thing, Jacoby was that, and then Hunter Henry was used, but big thing, the rookie they drafted, the fast rookie, they finally drafted, an athletic wide receiver. This was his first game back, and he got 3 targets. Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah.
So he was like a burner from Baylor. And so he's a guy to keep your eye on when Mac Jones comes back, because it's like the best wide receiver, the best wide receiver they've had in a long time. And then Jason, the Jamal Williams show. I mean, I think it was, if you started Jamal Williams this game, I think you didn't expect much.
Yeah, I hope you didn't start him for real. Like,
going into Foxborough, it's
Foxborough.
They're all there, and the Patriots have been built for the run for like 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, but I did notice that Craig Reynolds, dude, like that, he was kind of like,
he looked quick.
Dude, he was awesome last year, and he was very successful. So, 3 for 68 in receiving and 6 for 24. So he averaged a lot more yards per carry, and he looked good in the receiving game. So I think he could be a Swift light, substitute. But you have to be desperate to start him as in your running back thing.
Yeah, you and I think we discussed this last week or the week before. Like, Jamal Williams, you're not going to expect those 150-yard games. He looks like he's going to be there for the goal line carries.
Yeah, and Reynolds is going to be sprinkled in, but I think Reynolds is great. If he ever got like full time, I think he'd be, I'd rather have him than like Stevenson or something like that.
Yeah. Whoever started Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think they were expecting him to play most of the game. And I was like confused when I was watching it. I was like, did he hurt himself? Did he go back out? Did he re-injure himself? And I guess they just put him on a pitch count, and it was a very low pitch count.
There was only one source I saw of this, and it was on Reddit, and people didn't really believe it, but it was they said that he was on a pitch count of 20 snaps, I think. So
you got his 20 only.
Because I almost wrote it on my last minute factoids comments, just because I was trying to update it, but I was like, dude, I don't know. This is the only place I can find it. I think in the future I might still do that, because if a player's come back from injury and you hear that, you should probably listen to it anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Josh Reynolds is interesting, even though
10 targets.
Yeah, I think he's interesting until that the rookie, Jameson Williams comes back. And then it might just be like a huge cluster just for targets other than Amon-Ra. But
Well,
it
yeah,
looks like he got
we'll
all
see.
the
I mean,
Hawkinson. He got all the Hawkinson targets though.
Goff and Reynolds, they got that chemistry for playing with the Rams.
I was gonna say, wasn't he on the Rams at the same time? So
Yeah. Hawkins said, yeah, because he had a big game last week, so I was like, I want to keep an eye on him. 1 reception, 6 yards. Didn't get it till like the end of the fourth quarter on 1 target. So
he went. You saw his ceiling in one. You saw his ceiling all the way down to the floor in 1 week.
Yep. So it's like, when is he going to do that again? He's going. I think he's going to be he's going to be a bust most of the year. When he goes off, he's going to get you some points, but you're going to have to be very picky when you want to play him. Other than that, it's very tempting just to leave him on the waivers and try to get somebody who could be more consistent, get you more points.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see how long. Don't worry, be Zappy's in. I mean, Matt Jones, it's a back thing, so it could be maybe a couple more weeks or more.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it. But anyways, that's all I have about that game, Jason.
You want to take a short break and then we'll get up to 2 other games?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Later.
BRB. B.